This is the Reds POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Cincinnati Reds. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Good evening, Reds fans, and welcome to another edition of the Reds POSTCAST brought to you by Locked On Reds and your Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm Tim Daniel. I'm a lifelong Cincinnati Reds fan, and I've been podcasting about this team for 5 years at publications such as Late Night Reds and The Riverfront. And I want to thank you all for spending some time with me tonight as we discuss the Cincinnati Reds taking a loss to the Los Angeles Angels 2-1 at Angel Stadium tonight. If you were just checking me out for the first time, welcome. We are so happy to have you here. Please be sure to hit the notification button here on YouTube so you can not only get my show after each and every Reds game, but you can get Jeff Carr and Stephen Offenbaker Monday through Friday on Locked On Reds. This episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. On tonight's show, no sleep for the Red Legs tonight. We're going to dive kind of big picture of the game, where they could have taken advantage, what went wrong. We'll go through all that. Noelvi Marte makes his debut in the 2 spot tonight, hitting in front of Elly De La Cruz, and truthfully, probably had one of the better performances in the 2 spot all season. We're going to talk about that. And Nick Martinez was great tonight as well. And of course, I'm going to hear from you, our everydayers. Let's kind of get to this game show a little bit, shall we?
This is what you'll be talking about.
For the first time in 6 years, the Cincinnati Reds do not have a victory over the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. I know that's not really their name. Is that their name? I don't know. The stupidest, longest name in baseball. But the Reds do lose to the Angels the first time in a very long time today, 2-1. And there's a lot of reasons that they did lose this game. One of them is not Nick Martinez. One of them is not Brian Hayes. One of them is not Noelvi Marte. We'll get to all of that here in a bit. But why they did lose this game, there's a couple things. And obviously, we're going to talk about the 8th inning. But first of all, we're going to talk about the fact that they went 2 for 10 with runners in scoring position tonight. Can't have that. They had 5 guys left on base. They lost by a run. So those two things, obviously, that's kind of, if you look at the Reds games where they've lost, it's kind of been their general theme of the year, is they've had situations like that where they've lost close games and they didn't take advantage of opportunities. They didn't get that one hit they needed, and that's where they kind of lose this game. The beauty, the Mets lost tonight too. So we at least have that. But also, you look at some of the situations where they have their Lonnie brings it up right here. I was actually going to get right to it. So runners on first and third, no outs in the second inning. They don't score. Jose Trevino hits to the double play. Those plays are going to come back to bite you in games like this, and especially when games are so close and you're trying to find a way to put one together. It's a bummer. It's frustrating because they could have easily got the sweep. But it's hard to be like a little mad, right? Like Josh says it here. If Ellie's ball is a little bit closer to the right, or if he gets that ball, he hits that ball pretty hard. Yeah, we're probably talking about a 3-2 winner tonight, and we're talking about a sweep. So it's just this little game of inches where they could have had it and they didn't. I know everyone is kind of putting a lot of pressure on the team right now because where they're at the playoff rate, and I get it. I mean, we haven't been in this situation in a long time. It's fun to watch them in this situation, to be in play a playoff match where every game matters, competing for a wild card spot. And it just didn't go through tonight. It sucks. It stinks. But I'm not disappointed in the series overall. It's great they got 2 out of 3. Thankfully the Nationals beat the Mets tonight too. That game was pretty fun to watch, actually, for someone who doesn't have a horse in the race. But I thought tonight the Reds had their chances. They just didn't come through with it. But I think it's pretty great to say that they came through and got 2 of the 3 wins in LA against the Angels. Starting off a West Coast road trip with a series win is humongous. And I just wish they could have got the one big hit tonight, right? And then the 9th inning, Miguel Andujar, for the first time, I think, since he's been a Red, looked outmatched. I mean, 3 pitches away, 3 sliders, swung. It wasn't close to any of them. So that kind of stunk. But he was due to have a really bad at-bat, right? He's been playing pretty well for the Reds since he came over. Austin Hayes hits a ball to the warning track, and you think it's got a good shot at going out. So. And then Spencer Steer, I don't think it looked very good in that at-bat either. Then there's Graham Ashcraft. And Graham's been playing really well of late. So it's hard for me to be super mad at him. Going into this game, he had a 150 ERA in his last 7 outings. But he was not himself. And we've seen him pitch really well of late, like I mentioned. And tonight just seemed like something was off. He didn't have it. He was throwing pitches in the dirt. That loose ball that we got by Trevino, that was very frustrating because that kind of leads a lot to there as well. It's hard to be super mad. It just wasn't there. It wasn't their night. I want to see if they can just kind of those things go their way a little more. When you lose games like this, it's obviously super easy to pick out what could have gone wrong, and they just didn't have things go their way. But Graham Ashcraft, I think, he has to be a little better there, especially considering how good Nick Martinez was tonight. But we'll get to that a little later in the show. So, yeah, big picture, it's a bummer of a loss. They could have put something together and got the win, but overall, doesn't hurt them too bad because the Mets lost, and obviously they got the 2 wins to start the series as well. Noelvi Marte made his debut batting in the 2 spot behind Friedel ahead of Ellie De La Cruz and was really good again tonight. The way he's swinging the bat of late is obviously really promising and reassuring, and we're going to talk about that right after this.
Have you ever decided the last minute to head to a ball game with friends and family? Maybe it's game day and you suddenly realize you want to be in the stands. That's exactly where Game Time comes in. It's the easiest way to grab last-minute tickets without the stress. With the money you save on tickets, you can splurge on food, drinks, merch, or even invite a bigger group to go with you. Game Time makes it possible. Game Time makes buying tickets fast and simple. Prices on the app actually drop the closer you get the first pitch, and they've got incredible last-minute deals, clear seat views, and a lowest price guarantee that takes away the worry out of buying. I love when I head downtown to the ballpark with some friends and I use Game Time to grab a ticket to a Reds game. I'm going to look to do it next week. I'm itching to get to GABP during the homestand. Game Time is the official ticketing partner of Locked On MLB, making it easy to browse the app for exciting upcoming games. Tired of endless scrolling, trying to find the best deal? Game Time's Zone Deal picks the best seats and just set your section for you. Seat views right in the app before you buy so you know exactly where you'll be. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices, guaranteed.
Want to shout out our everydayers here on the Postcast for spending some time with me, even on these late night games when they do take a bummer of a loss, 2-1 to the Los Angeles Angels at Angel Stadium tonight. Please be sure, as always, to hit that notification button on YouTube if you haven't already, so you can get my show after each and every game, and you can get Jeff and Steve Monday through Friday on Locked On Reds. And of course, you can also, when you're done with us, go check out Locked On MLB. They watch every single game, so you don't have to. And let's get to the turning point in this game.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
I feel like where they really got hurt the most was Noelvi Marte hitting the top of the 6th. Moves TJ Friedel to 2nd. He moves up. No outs at that type of situation, and they aren't able to bring a run in. So I feel like that's kind of one of those things where you just kind of circle that moment, right? The double play in the 2nd and that as well. I think those are moments where you just go, just if you had those. Sorry to shake my desk there as well on the computer. But Noelvi Marte got moved up to the 2 spot tonight, and there's been a lot of conversation about moving him up in the order. And tonight he delivered, as he has been for a long time now. He's been nothing short of great for this team. We've talked about that. I feel like nightly we're talking about a Marte highlight with the bat, and he's just been great. And tonight he has a nice 2-for-4 day. Does have a strikeout later in the game in the 8th inning. That was kind of a bummer, but really happy with how he's swinging the bat, obviously. And those hits were humongous today. Had the solo RBI today that brought in Ke'Bryan Hayes, who also had 2 hits today. Ke'Bryan Hayes has all of a sudden learned to hit with the Reds. And obviously getting situations where he has that as well. So Marte now, if you're looking at any way you want to split the trends, they all look good. Last 7 games, a 433 batting average and a 700 slugging. Last 15, a 379 batting average, a 655 slugging. And the last 30, a 325 batting average and a 509 slugging. The man is hitting. And he's not walking. Notice I didn't bring up his on-base percentage in any of those because in the last 7, the last 15, he has not had a walk. I guess you got to have those guys, right? I'm more team draw your increase more chances to score runs. But Noelvi Marte is up there swinging it, as we know. And right now, it's landing for him. So kudos to him on that as well. Thought he was really good tonight again. Man, hope that this keeps going and we can see this in the next season as well, because we might be talking about an all-star next year. Other highlights of the offense, obviously, Brian Hayes, 2 doubles tonight. Brian Hayes, I don't know what happened when it came to Cincinnati, but also a guy that the trends are looking very nice as well. Last 7, 409, 500 on base, 773 slugging. Last 15, 267 batting average, 340 on base percentage, 467 slugging. Obviously, you know, the conversation is that he has had as many home runs already as a Red as he had as a Pirate throughout the season. But obviously, we know just dazzles with his defense. Just does unbelievable things with his defense as well. So really nice day for him. The rest of it was kind of so-so. We mentioned him. Andar hit. Austin Hayes had a hit. Novus had a homer. But thought that once they took Kikuchi out, once they got the Reed Detmers, maybe you could have had some conversations there in the 9th, especially Spencer Steer was kind of struggling today. Could you have used Gavin Lux there instead of him being the guy on deck instead of the last out? I don't know. I'm not criticizing Tito for that. I think you could have gone either way. But yeah, just some kind of things that people are going to look at hindsight, I'm sure. Nick Martinez today, once again, was so good and so awesome. And he's going to be our Locked On Player of the Game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Dave says, I'm a zombie. I respect it, Dave. I respect it. I am not. These late night games are getting to me pretty hard. But Nick Martinez today, another quality start. 6 innings, 1 earned run, 7 strikeouts, 1 walk. Does give it the homer to Moncada. And that's kind of what does it in. But, you know, it's another one of these games we talk about where the starter does everything he possibly can for the team to win. It's a tie game when he leaves, and it just doesn't go through. It's disappointing because Martinez was definitely plenty good enough to win this game and certainly give the Reds every chance they possibly could to be the victors tonight. It didn't go their way, but you know what? Sometimes it happens. And for him to kind of keep this trend going that you're seeing from the starting pitching right now, where the starting pitching basically since that last Brewers game, actually the Saturday Brewers game, Lytell's first start to start the series has been pretty darn good. And just kind of getting 6 innings in, making a 1-2 run game, and just kind of seeing it from there. So, and Scott Barlow follows him obviously with a really huge inning as well. Scott Barlow of late, man, been really, really good. Graham Ashcraft, like we mentioned earlier, obviously struggles, and then Brent Suter goes out there and gets the final out of the game for the Reds, giving them a chance to go to the 9th and see if they can get a rally together, and they unfortunately cannot. So, pitching on the other hand, really, really good tonight. Just had 1 inning that things didn't go their way. Just so happened to be that Graham Ashcraft had to be the guy that had to wear that one tonight. So it's a disappointing game, but the beauty is that they got the series, like I said, and the Mets lost as well, so they didn't lose any ground on the Metropolitans. And we have an off day tomorrow, so I'm going to enjoy that and probably get a rational sleep time in for the first time all week. But the Reds are unfortunately losers tonight to the Angels, 2-1. The Angels have 2 runs on 5 hits, no errors. The Reds have 1 run on 7 hits, no errors. Your winning pitcher tonight is Reed Detmers. He is now 4-3 with a 4.26 ERA. Graham Ashcraft is your loser. He is now 7-5 with a 3.86. And Luis Garcia gets his first save of this season for the Angels. Like we mentioned, the Reds are off tomorrow, and then we're back at it on Friday in Arizona at 9:40 Eastern as Zach Lytle takes the ball for the Reds for his fourth start as a Red. He is 9-8 with a 3.52 ERA. He'll be going against Ryan Nelson, the Diamondbacks. He is 6-3 with a 3.58 ERA. First pitch is at 9:40, so I'll be back on probably around this time again. Everyone, thank you so much for staying up and hanging out with me tonight during this one. Be sure to stay tuned in for Jeff and Steve on Locked On Reds as well. Really interested to see what they had to say about this game. I'm Tim Daniel. Everyone, have a great rest of your night. Enjoy the time off tomorrow, and I will see you late Friday night. Go Red Legs.